friends. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes or seconds, make sure everything's working okay. How are you doing today? So, I know I look funny with my mic cozy, but oh well. So, sadly, I'm not out here with Cassie, as many of you know, because Cassie passed away 13 days ago. But I have Mina, my neighbor's dog, who I'm watching for the weekend. So that's nice. And actually, she normally doesn't want to leave the house when her owner goes somewhere. So this live is working out good for both of us. So I do have some news. Some of you have seen the video that was posted earlier this morning, but we got a couple arrivals. One is Bob Joyce's Deluxe Safely Home album. It's finally out. It's out. It's out. I ordered this thing at George Live mid-August last year in 2025, and it is finally released. So I'm not going to tell you the name of the songs. Some of you have already figured it out, but it's the same 11 tracks as the original Safely Home album, but there is 3 bonus tracks. So for those of you who ordered it, you should be getting that soon, if you didn't today or already. And then another big, well, I can't show you. I think it's a secret, but if you've been waiting on George Magazine the last couple months through their transition to the new publication setup layout that they needed so George Magazine can expand big time, guess what? Da-da-da. They're out. I'm not sure if I should show you the covers, so I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you a couple of the article names. I think I can legally do that in this video. One, this is a big one for people like me, for a whole lot of us actually, the Internet Bill of Rights. Some of you have been hearing about that topic for a long time, and it just keeps coming up. And it's coming up with George Magazine. And you know what they say about George Magazine? They really seem ahead of their time. So, the Internet Bill of Rights. That's going to be an article you're going to want to read and find out what's coming up next. How about the 6G gamble? Why the world is racing toward it. We've been hearing all this negative stuff about 5G, and now 6G is on the way. So what does that mean exactly? And is it going to be a good thing this time? I'm going to let you figure that out. And as always, before I forget, links for pretty much everything you need is in this video description, including our somewhat brand new website, mattsavinamusic.com, which is your one-stop shop for any links. Anything you hear me talk about, or maybe you didn't hear me talk about, you're going to find on the website, along with georgemagazine.com. What else might you guys be interested in the brand new issues of George? There's a lot in here. The economic inversion you never saw coming. The first thing that comes to mind is precious metals, which has been very much in the spotlight for a variety of reasons, but also digital assets, which is something that I've talked about from time to time, including XRP. Yeah, anyway, two new, I almost said albums, issues that many of you have been waiting for and wondering, what happened to George? They like dropped off the face of the earth. And actually, I did a video last week talking about how even though the actual hard copy magazines hadn't come out yet because they were making this transition, you can still go on their website and just log in with your user name and all that jazz, and you can still read the issues electronically, and it's just like, you know, you're flipping the pages on the screen. And so that's been there, and so if you're still waiting on your last couple issues, you should get them very soon. But along with that, let's see, let me say some quick highs before I talk about Pastor Bob Joyce. Sheila's here, Jasmine, Irma, Rita Faye. Good to see you all. Melanie. Okay, so there's a video that came out this morning, something about Pastor Bob Joyce, Gene Ho, and George Magazine, and the new show. And so you'll want to check that out. It's just a 3-minute video, and what we're trying to transition to is kind of like more short videos, and then when I get a chance, I'll do live like this, just to have, you know, kind of the unedited face-to-face videos for you with updates. But oh, and look at this dog. Oh, she just ran away as soon as I did that. Say hi to Mina. It's my neighbor's dog. Okay, so like I was saying, okay, let's get into Pastor Bob Joyce news. Also, a link down below in the description. May 22nd, 2026. Pastor Bob's next performance is at Cabot, Arkansas, if I'm saying the name of the city right, at First Baptist Church. And it is a benefit concert. I'm not going to try to share any of the details with you yet because I want to look into that a little further. And we still got plenty of time. It's February right now as I'm talking to you here. And so we got about 3.5 months until the concert. But many of you are just hearing this first right now, and I know from the comments a lot of you have been like, man, I want to see Pastor Bob perform, and I couldn't do it this year. Something came up. Some of you had illnesses like I did last year, and couldn't go to George Live or Coleman, Alabama to see him. So May 22nd, this is your chance. However, as you know, do you remember, for the Coleman, Alabama show, it sold out in about 7 days. And I'm a little bit late to give you this information, I think, because it maybe came out a couple days ago. We did a post or something yesterday, I don't remember, but I did want to make sure today that I really get the word out to you all so that if you want to get tickets, you can. And I can't even remember off the top of my head how much they are right now, but there's basically the general admission and then the premium, kind of like usual, I guess. That's how it's been. And so now is your chance. If you really, really want to see Pastor Bob perform for that show, then you really have one option, and that is to buy right now, this weekend, or whenever you're seeing this, as soon as possible. Because part of what I covered in the video this morning, that was about 3 some minutes long, was how Pastor Bob's worldwide reach, the chatter online, is only continuing to build, and he's only getting more popular. Whether that be from people who support him and think he's something special, or if people don't like him. I mean, sometimes people just don't like you because you're a certain faith, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, right? But yeah, so combine that with pastor, singer, songwriter, artist, and theories surrounding his name, and the speculation, as I've been saying the last couple of years, it will only continue to grow. And so that means there's going to be people on both sides of the conversation and other sides talking about him. Lots of people curious about what's coming next. And I'm just going to kind of keep telling you, when it comes to George Magazine, these things don't just happen accidentally. He didn't just, for lack of better words, get hired and adopted by George Magazine as one of their writers, and kind of like George Magazine's feature pastor, right? That doesn't just happen by accident, not just because he's a good singer. And so as far as the new videos coming up, like I said, the goal is to go to more like 3 or 4 a week, but shorter videos, nice little bite-sized videos that you can just quickly watch, get up to date on what's going on. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan. So, and even these lives, probably going to try to not make them too long. That way I can front end all the info for you. The big things right now, besides for Pastor Bob, is our new website, matsavinamusic.com, which is kind of like going to be one of your hubs for information. And we're going to be adding a blog pretty soon on there. So there's going to be actual readable stuff on there. And so, I mean, between George Magazine and that, we really want to be like kind of your two-stop shop for information and stuff. And then also, bam, big number 3, Grace Wave Live, which is on YouTube and on Rumble, just called Grace Wave. But that's a 24/7 stream of contemporary Christian music that's been running ever since the beginning of this year, and before that too. And let's see, I think that's everything. So, hi, Elaine's here. Good to see you all. Yeah, Mina's a cute dog. She went back inside. She really doesn't want to leave the house when her master is gone, so I'm slowly trying to get her out of the house and get her walking some. So, as far as, Irma, you're asking about me not talking about Pastor Bob anymore. I don't think I ever said that. It was more about the theories surrounding Pastor Bob and maybe getting into the weeds about certain things with him. And I made a shift late last year for several reasons that I won't go into right now, but I'll probably talk more about Gene Ho and kind of how he got to where he got to be today, and some interesting things there. But all of this stuff is, it's unfolding in real time. Like I said before, if I wanted to just go knee deep in only the theories and hype you guys up, it would not be hard to do. But that is not my goal. And George Magazine has a specific mission in the country, for the country. And just like over here, everything that me and my team are doing with Matt Savina Music and Grace Wave, the Grace Wave Kids Foundation, which is our main priority and focus, is to help and bless kids. We have our mission. And so I'm not going to say too much, I'm just not going to say too much or hype you guys up in a wrong direction for anything that's going to take away from our mission and what we're doing. So it's the same for George. There's reasons why Gene Ho, Dave Blaze, there's reasons why they cover topics, whether on live and in the magazine and with all the writers, the way that they're doing, and have been filling in all the gaps, for lack of a better description, with stories about faith, the Bible, teaching. And then, of course, George Magazine is about, politics and art and, really everything. But their motto, "We're not red, we're not blue, we're for you," that's a very tall, that's a high mark to hit, right? And so George Magazine is aiming for the top. Something, not just a magazine, but a movement sort of that's for everybody, but you can't just bring everybody into the fold at once. And so I see that clearly too from what I'm doing, we're doing, my team is, we can't just dive all into whatever the hypey, trendy thing is, because we're not going to come out looking good somehow, some way in the end. And that's just not our motivation. So anyway, keep us all in prayer for this year, everything that we're doing. And as always, there's going to be lots of challenges. It's not easy to go about things the right way, if you know what I mean. And there's always going to be people jumping up saying, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that. Great example is Gene Ho's open video to Pastor Bob. If you trust anything that Gene Ho ever teaches about, does, or has told you, then you need to believe that there are good reasons for that video and for the statement that he made. Are you going to understand them all today or next week? Nope, probably not. But that's okay. In time, you will know, you will understand, and I'll be able to talk about it more too. So, Daniel, good to see you. Susanna, good to see you too. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up there. That was long enough. And so, like I said, more videos coming soon. The stream with Grace Wave, our website is getting bigger and bigger every week. So please check that out. We just added a new app on there. You can create your own song, as a matter of fact. I shouldn't even be telling you this yet because we don't have certain things in place yet, but it's up and running. And yeah, we're having a blast with all the new music and what's coming with Pastor Bob, George, and the gang. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. Mina has come back outside, and that's a good thing. So I don't know if she's gonna walk, but I will see you all again soon. Check out Grace Wave, enjoy the new music, and I'll see you all again soon. So thanks and God bless.